Please welcome Sally Sheppard.
Hi, I'm going to try and make sure that I press this the right way. I was given instructions. I'm not very good at following them, so please excuse me. This is our game Terratorial, not just made by me, made by a whole group of people called Arrogant Pixel. It is an RTS, but I like to preface this because I feel like more often than not you hear RTS and you think like hardcore games, you think StarCraft, you think Clash of Kings, things like that. This is kind of not that, because it's like Lego and Pixar had a baby with an RTS. So it's cute, it's got a narrative, it's less hard-boiled and serious, right? So it should be more accessible to more people, is the hope. Ryan is outside, currently looking after our game. We did rock, paper, scissors for who was going to have to come up here and talk, and I lost. But he is our project lead for Terratorial. He is the brains behind the project. He has the vision, and I make it pretty. That is my job. So I'm art director. So anytime they hand me something cool, some like really cool feature or bit of code, I'm like, how can I make this cute? And that's basically what I do. And I bring good vibes to the team, and that is my main role. So, how did we decide to make this game? We'd finished a load of other games, some individually. I made a game on my own with my own studio, then I joined them. They'd made 2 previous games. We were like, what can we do differently that we've not tried before? All of us had individually, without each other, made narrative games. So when we came together, we were like, what is the natural progression? It's obviously an RTS. So we sat down, we had a little brainstorm. They've been working on it for a little while. I came in last year and made it pretty for them, basically. So that's sort of how we started. It was sort of like a, what do we do now? Brainstorm, throw things at the wall, and they stuck with the RTS. So they first had the idea for a 2D game in 2020. And they showed it to a load of people, and a load of people were like, this seems like a really good game if it was 3D. So they pivoted really quickly, went to 3D. By 2021, they had a 3D prototype. It was rustic, it was crazy, but it worked. And sometimes that's all you need to get an idea off the ground. And then in 2022, they got UK Games Fund funding. Yay, yay. And in 2023, I came in and I was like, let's do this. And so for the last 6 months, we've been making it really pretty. They had a super solid idea. I feel like I've done nothing but make it pretty, but it is a cool game. I say that having worked on it, but it was a cool game before I worked on it. And now we're about to try and go into early access. I'm sure everybody who's a dev knows the state of the industry right now. We've been talking about getting it published, we've been talking about self-funding, we've been talking about Kickstarter. We're just going to boot it out the door, basically. The main problem that we had when I joined is we were talking about what do players want from an RTS and what do players say they want from an RTS. Because again, lots of RTS is sort of hard-boiled serious. We were like, do players actually want that? And the statistics would say that they don't. They want a campaign, they want a story, they want a single-player, emotional journey in which there is a bit of strategy. The next thing they wanted was arcade or co-op, and then sort of esports right down the bottom, even though in my head strategy games have always been related to esports, but that is not what the stats said. So we prioritized when I started the campaign mode. Again, we prioritized the campaign mode, but we had already got some stuff in the works. So Ryan, our game designer, had already worked on a really sick arcade mode, on a really sick sort of multiplayer. We'd got all of that working. So we decided we were going to split it into 3, focus on all 3. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because we're game devs. We decided we were going to put all our energy into this game and get these to the best standard that they could be. Multiplayer allows you to play 1v1. I think we have plans to expand that and do some 2v2, up to 4 players, I think. This is for PC and console. Like, everything that we're doing is all about accessibility, so you can use controller, you can use keyboard. We're trying to make it as low barrier to entry as possible because, I mean, I'm a cozy gamer at heart, so I just want things to be fun. I don't really care about the hardness, but some people do, so we wanted to make sure there was multiple levels there for multiple types of players. Then we have these really cool arcade modes, which this is my favorite one. I call it Space Football. It's a little bit like Rocket League, but you have like an army of spaceships. We have Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, game modes like that. For those times where you just want like a 5-minute game with friends, you don't want a 40-hour campaign. Sorry, that's arcade mode. That's a wave spawner, so the other one is just game modes. This is arcade. That's like, you could endless mode it, right? Waves and waves of things coming at you. And my personal favorite, and the thing that I love the most, is story mode, single player campaign with characters and narrative and heart, and that's the bit that I love. So I've been working on these characters with our amazing 3D artist, Christoph, who started as an intern and is now our primary 3D artist. And we have been working on these characters and trying to make them what I've been calling bean people, or human beans, because obviously they are Tic Tac shaped. And I love them so much. I would take a bullet for them. They just give me like cute aggression when I see them in the game and I want to protect them. And that's what I want our players to feel as well. So we've been trying to work on the cuteness of the game. So our main 3 characters, we've got Robin, Runner, and Harriet. And again, Runner gives me massive cute aggression. We sort of built out this 3D world. We have some really cool cutscenes. We've been trying to work on it being like top quality production as well as fun. So it's a little bit, like I said, like Pixar, Lego had a baby with RTS. We are very silly in our sense of humor, and we wanted that to come through in the game. So again, it's not a super serious game. If you want to be the best at it, you absolutely can be. If you want to sit back, relax, play some cool game, it's also that. We try and put the silliness into everything we do. So these are some of our buildings that do different things for you. So these are your mines, your inhabitants, and sort of your machinery. We tried to make it silly, lighthearted, fun, and it's also easy to see and readable from a distance. And the same with our environments, trying to make them poppy and fun and cute rather than serious and aggressive. We talk a lot about wanting it to be a mix of Doctor Who and Star Trek, like old Star Trek, and give that feeling of nostalgia, but also cool. And if you want to play it, it's on the show floor, so please, please come play. We would love to hear what you think of it. It's actually the first time it's been out in public properly, so we actually really want your feedback. Come and tell us what you think. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sally. And that, we can officially say, is a world exclusive.